There is no pleasant good evening tonight. It is fantasy draft warfare. I'm Biff Kensington, and you're listening to the Connoisseurs of Wrestling. How you doing, everybody? Yeah, it's a great night. I think I just scared the piss out of everybody in the room, but that's okay. We'll throw them off their game a little bit. It's a very special episode of the Connoisseurs of Wrestling. It's episode 20. It's a great day to be here. Thankfully, Hurricane Florence has come and gone, and we're starting the cleanup process around here in the Carolinas. So a big thank you to everybody that was extending their thoughts and prayers last week. We got the full house in the room tonight. We got everybody. All the connoisseurs are here for this very special episode. Of course, we were remiss in not starting off with the lovely, the beautiful, the talented curator of the connoisseurs, Mrs. Legends Lover. LL, how are you doing tonight?
All right. Hey, hello, everybody. Have fun tonight.
And Wang Chung tonight, too. Okay. And also, we have the godfather of podcasts, the K-Side Seats family of podcasts. He is one half of the indomitable Shooting Debris crew. Of course, he is the one and only Taker's Minion, TM. Good buddy. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, sir. Greetings and salutations, folks. This is going to be one very interesting show. You might hear an shit or a god damn it throughout it. I don't know yet.
and there goes our monetization. Alrighty. And on that note, we have, of course, certainly last but not least, he is the newest connoisseur and probably the sexiest of the connoisseurs when I'm not around. He is co-host of Two Guys, One Sport every Thursday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central Time on YouTube. Mr. George Atsavis. George, my good sir, how are you tonight?
I am well. Thank you for the kind words. I'm glad that you and yours escaped a lot of the devastation down in the Tar Heel state. It makes me happy. It made me happy to hear from you this morning, my friend.
It was touch and go. If you go about 15 miles east of my house, there are roads closed right now because of trees out. Lots of power outages in the area, lots of creeks and rivers flooding. The worst of the flooding won't hit here for a couple more days. Thankfully, I'm in a place that's not as susceptible to the river flooding as they're going to have back east. The storm was destructive back towards the coast.
You guys got like 1,200 roads that are closed in North Carolina.
Yeah, 1,200 roads and almost a tenth of the state is without power, which is pretty catastrophic. It was a destructive storm. It was definitely the worst storm we've had through here since Hugo. It could have been a lot worse for the western part of the state. Thankfully, it turned at just the right angle, and we kind of got it out of here a little bit quicker than we thought we would. So it turned out better than it could have, but there are a lot of people. It killed a lot of people out east. I think the death toll is up over 20 now, that's pretty steep for a hurricane around these parts. Most people are kind of accustomed to those types of storms, but this was different.
Yeah, there's about 20. I think it was 14 in North Carolina and 6 in South Carolina.
Yeah, this was a big flooding event, which is unusual for hurricanes to flood like this one did.
You had a rainmaker. Well, you had a rainmaker.
Yeah.
One that basically almost completely stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, as a matter of fact, the storm had actually cleared out of my neck of the woods, and it was still raining in Wilmington because of the feeder bands coming up the coast. It was the craziest thing I'd ever seen. So,
and you were asked about in the sumo thread a couple nights ago, because you haven't made an appearance there or said it. If you've been there, you've not said anything.
No, I've actually been catching up on some sleep because I wasn't for sure if we were going to have to leave. I did have some flooding in my basement, but thankfully it didn't actually come up into the house. So that was a positive. Got some limbs down in the backyard, but that's that's nothing compared to people having structural damage to their house out east. So
like Wilmington and what is it?
New Bern, it seems to be the worst. New Bern is definitely the epicenter. That whole town is underwater.
What's the name of that town?
Lumberton?
Lumberton.
Yeah. They got hit really bad too.
Yeah, anything east of the Sand Hills and the Carolinas got it really bad. So they still need your thoughts and prayers. Scott Dawson of the Revival, his house is underwater right now.
Oh, poor guy.
Well, what they talk
And I
about,
thought his biggest problem would just be bad booking.
Yeah, no kidding.
what the problem was is
Wow.
when Florence actually made landfall, it slowed down to 2 miles an hour, where it stayed basically right there for 2 days.
Yep,
Starting to move.
they had hurricane force winds for almost 48 hours.
Yep,
So
that's what did it. All the rain coming in, and with that being such a slow mover,
yeah.
just sitting there, that's what did it. They said it was worse than Matthew.
Oh yes, absolutely. Matthew flooded, but it was
Yeah, Matthew was your big flood maker, and this one is gonna succeed it. There's a town in South Carolina right now they're worried about because they think the town is just gonna disappear right now.
There's towns all over the Carolinas that are in danger right now. There's a few up in the mountains. There's one actually about 35, 40 minutes north of where I live that had problems with structural issues on their dam back over the summer. It hasn't been fixed yet, so all of this rain has caused more concern the dam could break. Flooding's not going to reach its peak in the river basins until midweek when some of the rainwater from the mountains kind of filters down.
Yep.
So, yeah, keep the Carolinas in your thoughts and prayers. Just because the storm is out of here does not mean that the storm is over with.
No, the danger's not over.
The danger, yeah. So for some communities, the danger hasn't even arrived yet. The flooding is going to get a lot worse.
Well, that's what they said. The storm might be past, but the danger just started.
Yeah, it's going to be another week before the rivers kind of return back to normal, and then after that, it could be months for some of the communities to rebuild. So they definitely need your thoughts and prayers to keep them in mind. But thankfully, we did pull through it here in Western North Carolina fairly okay. Sporadic power outages, trees down, minor damage here and there, but it was, we were pretty fortunate compared to what it could have been. So we're all here tonight. We're going to try and have some fun and get our mind off of the craziness of the past weekend. And to do that, we've got a concept for tonight's show that we've never tried before, but it's something that's been near and dear to my heart as a fantasy booking guru for years. We wanted to try this year at the Connoisseurs because, honestly, this is right up our wheelhouse. The episode is titled Fantasy Draft Warfare. Basically, what we're doing is applying the lessons of fantasy football, fantasy basketball, fantasy baseball, and we're just using all-time wrestling promotions as our pool from which to draw from. So let me kind of explain the gist of the draft and the rules, so to speak, and then we're going to get right into the action. The draft itself is 10 rounds. The order has been set. Taker's Minion will be drawing number 1. Legends Lover will be drawing number 2. I, myself, will be drawing number 3. And poor George, as the latecomer to the Dog Food Bowl, will be drafting last. So sorry, George. You'll just have to deal with that one, I'm afraid. Basically, any performer from any promotion, from any era, is open to be drafted. Current, past, does not matter. You can draft whoever you want to draft. Here's the caveat. Once you draft a person, that person is off the board. No one else can take them. So you can't draft Bret Hart in 1982 or 1985 and then somebody else draft Bret Hart in 1997. Once Bret Hart goes, Bret Hart goes. Once Ric Flair goes, Ric Flair is gone. As far as drafting tag teams, you can draft tag teams up to 3 people. So if you have the New Day, the Fabulous Freebirds, you can draft all 3 people, that's fine. If you have any unit over 3 in-ring performers, so you're talking a DX Army from 99, the 4 Horsemen, NWO from 1998, that's a faction, you can't draft them. You have to break them up individually. So no factions are drafted, only tag teams up to 3 people. You can draft managers with your performers, either singles draft picks or tag draft picks, as long as that manager actually managed those people. So if you want to draft the Midnight Express and Jim Cornette, you are perfectly fine in doing that. You cannot, however, draft Jim Cornette to manage Brock Lesnar. It had to have happened in real life. And then also, as kind of an adjunct to this, if a performer or a tag team has more than one manager, you can draft those managers with the performer as long as they were with them. So if you did Yokozuna from 1993, he had two managers. He had Jim Cornette and Mr. Fuji. You can take Jim Cornette and Mr. Fuji with Yokozuna. But they had to have been together. So we're not wanting someone to just come and draft a wrestler that had 15 different managers over his career. That wouldn't be fair. People would lose out on some of the managers. The last big rule that we've all discussed, however you draft, if you draft a tag team, then the people in that tag team are a tag team for the purposes of your fantasy promotion. In other words, you can't draft a tag team and then use one of the members as a single star. The example that we used earlier, if you draft the Rockers and the Hart Foundation as tag teams, you have to use them as tag teams in your promotion. You can't have Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart become single stars and then let Marty Jannetty team up with Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
No.
Not how it works. So if you draft Bret Hart as a single, you get Bret Hart as a single. If you draft the Hart Foundation as a tag team with Jimmy Hart, you get Bret Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and Jimmy Hart as a trio. So that's basically the gist of it. This is very much an informal discussion. We're going to have more fun with this. This is not being done in a competitive manner any more so than a draft is competitive. This is more or less to have fun, to get an idea of the dream promotions that we would like to build, and do it in a kind of a neat little way that kind of pays tribute to the fantasy football world, because I know fantasy sports are huge right now with the NFL getting started back up. Of course, a lot of people have been drafting their fantasy teams. We wanted to do something a little special tonight. And
I think your cat wants a voice in this.
Yeah, my cat is a jerk. He wants to be fed even though he's got a bowl of food right here.
No, I think he wants to join the conversation.
I think your cat wants to pick fifth, Biff.
My cat's about to be kicked out into the sunroom. That's what's about to happen. So. Anyway, the cat. Okay, the cat is our Roger Goodell. He's the master of ceremonies. He's saying we should get this show
started
on the road. Yeah. So again, we'll rehash the rules as needed over the course of the draft. But this is mostly for fun. After the draft is over, and after this episode is over, on our advert thread at Cage-Side Seats, you will have in the poll the option to choose which fantasy promotion you liked best. Now, the draft will be recapped there for you, so you don't have to listen to the show 15 times. I would appreciate it if you did. But hey, as long as you're listening and having fun, that's always good. Make sure to pound that subscribe button. Turn on alert notifications. You'll get every new episode of the Connoisseurs of Wrestling. Having said that, we are ready to go. Taker's Minion, the first pick in the 2018 Fantasy Warfare Draft of the Connoisseurs of Wrestling. The floor is yours, good sir. Let's get it started.
Okay, well, the obvious choice for me to take is based on my name. However, I'm taking a tag team to start. From the 1970s in the AWA, they were tag team champions, and they had a manager.
You bastard.
I'm taking Nick Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens with Bobby the Brilliant One Heenan. Why am I a bastard, Biff? Is that who you wanted?
I neither confirm nor deny that.
They were on my board.
Yeah, they were on my board too. Is like number 2. So okay.
Yeah, they were very high on my board, my friend. So.
I mean, that was a team that I saw as a child that I despised to the bordered on the word hate, because it always seemed that my favorite team would be just about there, and Bobby would slip something into the ring, some foreign object of some kind, and boom, it's over. 1, 2, 3, they win. And, they didn't do the walk away. No, they just flat out cheated to win. You didn't see a lot of count out wins back then.
Like good heels should.
Yes. No,
Win
like
if you
good heels
can,
should.
lose if you must. Always cheat.
There you go. Well, I got to be honest. I did not see that one coming, and damn, that hurts.
That's a good one.
That's a very good one. So automatically, Nick Bockwinkel off the board, and Ray Stevens for that matter, but Bobby Heenan as well off the board early. So that one, oof, that's a painful one. That's an awesome pick though. I got to give it to you.
It's a very, I was thinking of going all tag teams and just building a great tag team promotion, and they were going to be my first pick if they were sitting there at number 4 to do that. So that is a sexy pick, my friend.
That's a very good pick.
Thank you.
So,
LL, you got your work cut out for you. That was a hell of a first pick. You're going to have to do even better for your first overall pick.
Yeah, I'm going to take Hart Foundation with Jimmy Hart.
Okay, another great tag team. Another great tag team pick. So,
and I don't think I have to give the year because they were great through their whole tag team run, which started in 1985.
Yeah, so you've got, honestly, with Jimmy Hart, you've got 3 or 4 years there with Jimmy Hart managing the team in the WWF. Have a lot of talent there, of course. Bret the Hitman Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, the late Jim Neidhart. Jimmy Hart, one of the best wrestling managers of all time. You can't really go wrong with that either. So
and we on this show are big fans of the Hart Foundation. So that's a great pick.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Very great pick. I've been just sitting here because they were on my board. Now I got to figure. Now I'm scrambling. Damn it!
I think Legends Lover was sandbagging us. She was talking about how she doesn't know anything about drafting, and how she comes out swinging right out of the gate.
No, I don't know much about drafting, but I do know who I like.
Good enough. Good enough.
Well, my draft board has been torpedoed.
Yeah,
so
I got big X's on mine, man, through the names.
Well, I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. It's a great pick.
That's why I was glad I was second, because I figured you would have them, because me and you go back and forth on the Hart Foundation.
This early on, pick who you like,
Well, I'm gonna tell you something right now. This is something George and I talked about beforehand, and this is kind of playing right into the very question I posed. When you see what people start drafting, will that change your strategy, or will you adapt because you have people going a different route? I did not expect the first 2 picks to be tag teams.
Neither did I.
My tag teams are further down the board, so now I'm trying to scramble. Do I stick to my guns, or do I go with a tag team and not miss that one?
Like
I think that's a good segue. What's your pick going to be, my friend?
You got to be like Clint Eastwood in the military. You got to overcome and adapt.
You got to improvise, adapt, and overcome, in the words of Gunny, or what the hell was his character's name? It was Heartbreak Ridge, though. That's the reference.
Oh, I love Heartbreak Ridge. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Gunny Highway.
There you go. Well, I was waffling on this first pick of mine. This was not too difficult of a decision. I am going to. Oh my God! What did I just do? I have deleted my draft board like 15 times now. I'm trying not to delete it for a 16th time during the actual show. I decided to stick with my guns. I wanted this as my first pick in some variation. I am going to stick with it. I want my big championship leader figure. I want my top heel. I am going with the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, from 1986, with James J. Dillon as his manager. Got to go with Flair. Got to go with the class, especially with Nick Bockwinkel off the board. It's going to be hard to find a better heel champion than Ric Flair.
And you got to go in North Carolina.
And I got to go with my boy from the Carolinas, of course. So Ric Flair, my number 1 pick. Everybody else, y'all can suck it.
That's remember I told you my top 8. That was my number 1.
I thought for sure I had 3 people on my board that I thought were going to be number 1 picks, and Ric Flair was.
I had 4 people that I would have picked number 1, and Flair was one of them.
Yeah. So I'm glad to go ahead and get that one. Sorry that
You rat bastard, you.
So,
well, you know how it is.
I have a lot of options here, guys. I mean, there's three names I can think of right off the top of my head. But I'm gonna pick the guy who put asses in seats more than anybody else in a 2-year span, and who saved the company. And without this guy, the company that he represents does not exist. So I'm gonna take 1997 Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, you bastard!
Yes.
And I'm specifying pre-neck injury. So I get all the stuff from 97 while he was still a very great in-ring worker.
And that's before the knee injuries too.
Yes. Right? I mean, as great as he was in 98 and 99, I'm picking the versus Bret Hart versus, that era Stone Cold Steve Austin. But any Attitude Era Steve Austin works for our purposes.
Yep.
But I want a guy who can go in the ring. I want a guy who can talk people into the building. And I want a guy who's maybe the biggest draw of all time for that 3-year period. Because I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that without Steve Austin, there is no WWE. I think
you want somebody that can kick ass, Roy.
Exactly. And he can kick ass as a face. He can kick ass as a heel. I think he's a great linchpin to put at the top of your promotion.
Linchpin to take on Vince McMahon.
Yeah, I mean, but he can kick ass as a heel too. We saw it in 2001. So I'm pretty satisfied with that pick.
Even as a heel, he went after Vince McMahon.
Absolutely.
Well, I would like to have a moment of silence for the dearly departed selection of the Hollywood Blondes, my number 2 board. That died on my mind real quick. So,
by the way, the Hollywood Blondes, as underrated a tag team as you'll ever see.
I know. I hate your.
They
guts
were
this.
underrated tag team.
They were great. They were great.
Their name just sucked.
Oh my God.
That is Brian Pillman and Steve Austin.
Steve Austin. I remember as a kid, I used to do the camera roll thing with my hands. When they came out and they rolled the camera, I used to do that. I used to do that in school when I was like 8 or 9 years old. I used to do that.
Not too shabby.
No.
And speaking of not too shabby, the first round is now complete. That's a hell of a first round of talents. We had 2 tag teams and 2 singles, 3 managers included in the group. So let's do a quick recap round by round here. For round 1, TM, of course, started off with Nick Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens taking Bobby Heenan as manager. So those 3 names are off the board. Jim the Anvil Neidhart, Bret Hitman Hart, and Jimmy Hart, the Mouth of the South, the Hart Foundation. They go number 2 overall with LL. Number 3 overall for Team Biff, that is Ric Flair with James J. Dillon as manager. And then for George, he rounds out round number 1 with Stone Cold Steve Austin from 1997. That's a hell of a way to start this, and we're just getting going now. Of course, round 2 going to kick off. Taker's Minion with your number 2 overall pick. The floor is yours.
Okay. I'm taking a single wrestler this time.
Be gentle.
He is a cornerstone of WWF, WWE. Has been there going to be going on his 28th year. His shoot name is Mark Calloway. He's wrestled in several different promotions, including WCCW and WCW under various names. He's been wrestling for over 35 years. I'm taking The Undertaker with Paul Bearer as his manager.
That's a great pick.
That is not only a great pick at number 2, a great value pick there to get a main event talent. You've also got 2 of the greatest managers of all time now on your roster with Bobby Heenan and Paul Bearer.
And you want to talk people into the building. Those 2 can talk anybody into the building.
Exactly right. So now I'm going to be completely honest with you. I would love to see how The Undertaker and a tag team partner could work against Nick Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens. That's going to be quite the interesting little main event program feud you could have building there, pal.
I imagine there'll be a cage involved at the end of that feud.
Yeah, there would be cage, and there'll be blood.
There'll be blood. There'll be all kinds of good stuff. Yeah, and I've got that pick set up to work.
You can hear the merriment in TM's voice. He's already got this planned out ahead of time. So
yes, I do.
We all knew we all knew he was going to take.
We all knew Undertaker was coming home.
You know what? Here, let's reflect on that.
Undertaker and Paul Bearer.
Let's reflect on Taker's minions getting Undertaker with his 2nd round pick.
Honestly,
how great did that go?
Yeah, I mean, you would have thought TM, the Undertaker, probably would have been a number 1, and so I just kind of assumed not to put Taker on my board at all because I figured he wouldn't be there. And you rat bastard, you get in.
Played it perfectly.
Yeah, he played it just right.
I was sitting here praying through the rest of the first round. Nobody take him. Nobody take him. And when you're talking George, I'm thinking, shit, he's gone.
I mean, he was up there. I had about 4 or 5 names that I wanted to build my franchise around. But I just and Taker's. If Austin was taken, I would have taken the Undertaker. Not gonna lie. If Biff had taken Austin, I would have jumped on the Undertaker.
Yeah.
I figured he was going to be gone.
But you gambled, you rolled the dice, and they came up, and you hit your point, my friend. So that was a job well done.
Well, we know who's not the Cleveland Browns of this draft. It ain't TM. So.
No.
And so, LL, I apologize in advance. You really got your work cut out for you now because now the board is wide open. You took the tag team of the Hart Foundation with your number 1. It's time now to make your number 2. So who are you going with your 2nd overall?
It's going to be a tag team. I'm taking the British Bulldogs.
Oh, my
you
God.
bitch! You bitch!
I was literally about to take them. What
I had Dynamite Kid in this round.
Oh, my God.
I think I just passed the kidney stone.
I had the Dynamite Kid on my board.
Oh, so did I.
Oh, God. I hate you. I hate you. May nothing good happen to you.
Well, we know who's got the tag team promotion on the board here. Holy crap.
This hurts.
That stung.
That hurts.
That hurts so damn bad.
So
You got to look at it this way. When you got the Hart Foundation, they feuded with the British Bulldogs so much.
all over the world, and they drew houses all over the world.
Yeah.
Brilliant pick. Legends lover, brilliant pick. I can't commend you enough for that pick.
Yeah,
my experience in fantasy draft sucks. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna get the two best tag. I'm gonna get two of the best tag teams of all time. I'm telling you, she was sandbagging us.
I think somebody's sandbagging over here.
She was sandbagging us.
No. When you talked about the other part, that I don't know much about either.
Yeah, but you know wrestling, so that's good enough.
I know wrestling. I'm choosing the team. I'm choosing the people I've watched most of my life.
I'll remember that for my third pick.
Yeah. What you got for us, Biff?
Well, I don't know. My board's kind of a smoking ruin right now.
Yeah, mine's no good. Mine is no better you than me, my friend. I would not know what to do right now.
Well, let me see what wound up happening. I was actually going to take, and I'm going to reveal this now because this is off the table. I was going to take the British Bulldogs from 1986 so that I could get an extra manager out of it in Lou Albano.
Ooh.
Because he managed the Bulldogs in 86 at WrestleMania 2 and into 85. So
I was going to take Dynamite Kid in 83 so I get the feud with Tiger Mask.
You wanted Tiger
Mask? That era. I wanted Dynamite Kid by himself because I was going to start going junior heavy.
Yep. I had if I couldn't get that was going to be an option for me. So
that hurt. That hurt, my dear.
So this is okay. Now, if I had a conundrum in the first round, I've really got a conundrum now because tag teams seem to be going at a premium here. So I'm going to go reverse trend, and I'm going back to another single. And this one is going to be an interesting pick. George, you kind of gave me inspiration for this one.
Uh-oh.
I'm picking somebody that, honestly, if you want to look at his total career, you could take him either as a heel or as a face. But his popularity is such, it almost transcends the heel-face boundary, and he's just known as a legend now. But I'm taking him from a year that he had both a memorable stretch as a heel and as a babyface. And that might narrow down who y'all think I'm going with here. I'm going to the WWF from 1987, and I am selecting with my number 2 overall pick, the one, the only, the Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Good.
I would have Elizabeth.
I would have gone 89.
Gonna take Miss Elizabeth with him.
Yep.
I like that. I would have gone 89 because I think he was at his apex in the ring in that feud with Hogan. You got a good match out of the Ultimate Warrior in 1990, which is, holy God, that's impressive.
Yeah.
You know,
wasn't that the time Macho Man, Hogan were going at it because of Macho Man's jealousy?
Yep, which is still the best feud in the history of the company, in my view. That program, that year-long program, was unbelievable. That's a great pick. That's a great pick.
The trouble that I ran into trying to decide what year is there are so many great, because like his best year overall might be between 91 and 92, when you had the retirement angle with the Warrior, the feud with Jake the Snake Roberts, and the feud with Ric Flair. If I had gone 89, I might have cheated a little bit and said, hey, I'm going to take Miss Elizabeth and Sensational Sherry, but he never had those as managers at the same time, and I felt that would be violating the spirit of the exercise. And so I might come back to Sherry later for a women's division. But honestly, with Macho Man Randy Savage, any point before 1992,
before he ripped his arm up, is good.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a world-class promo, a guy that's going to put asses in seats, and he can have an amazing 5-star match. And I mean, whether Flair and Savage are opposing each other as face or heel, or whether I've got Savage and Flair in the same alignment, you know, I mean, that's a hell of a top of the card to build from. So Macho Man Randy Savage with Miss Elizabeth will be my number 2. And now, George, I imagine you're going to break my heart. Like
I have 2 names.
Did.
I have 2 names.
Flip a coin, George.
Yeah, I did. I rolled a die. I keep a little die next to my computer, and this name came up. And you said it. You talk about someone who can work face or heel. You talk about someone who can put asses in seats. And you talk about someone who had an unbelievable year. And the year this man had will go down as one of the best years in the history of professional wrestling.
I know who you're taking.
So I am taking 2017 Kazuchika Okada.
I did not know who you were taking.
Wow.
That's a good one.
Kaz Okada.
Throw in Gato too. Why not?
Okay.
So
yeah, we can do that.
And you talk about packing the Tokyo Dome against Kenny Omega. You talk about packing Osaka Joe Hall. You talk about all the little tours that he headlines, all the sellouts at Korakuen and in Osaka and Hokkaido and Hiroshima and Yokohama and et cetera, and shows in the U.S. and drawing crowds here and drawing crowds in the U.K. And you know what I'm saying? And drawing crowds in Europe and drawing crowds in Mexico. I get a bona fide draw who, oh, by the way, happens to be one of the best in-ring workers of the past 20 years.
If you take Kazuchika Okada from 2017, right at the peak of his IWGP title run, and have him wrestle pre-neck injury Steve Austin in 1997, oh my God!
I'm selling out houses for 6 months.
Yeah, that's that's a global sellout. You're selling out no matter where you go for that one.
Oh, and the matches would be unbelievable because those two are some of the smartest minds for wrestling. That every night would be just different enough to keep people on their toes.
That's a tremendous value pick at number 2. That's something that I'm not sure anybody else had that high up.
I don't. That was my thing. I had another name that in mind, but sometimes you just got to pick the guy you want, and that's
you got to go with your heart sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you got to say, you know what, that's the guy I want. So even though he may have been a little high, quote unquote, you know, I wanted to make sure that I got him. So sometimes you got to be a little bold.
Yep.
I mean, he's 31, and he's already a Hall of Famer. So, takers, what you got for us?
Well, Biff, don't you want to recap?
Yeah, that's okay. I'll get you a recap right quick. We got round 2 in the books. Started off with a bang. TM got Undertaker with Paul Bearer. LL responded back by double dipping on tag team. She picked up the British Bulldogs, Davey Boy Smith and the Dynamite Kid, much to the chagrin of Biff and George. I answered back with my second overall as Macho Man Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth from 1987. And then George rounds out round 2 with a dynamite pick from New Japan Pro Wrestling. That is the 2017 run of Kazuchika Okada with Gedo as his manager. So now everybody has at least one manager on their roster. Some of us have two. As a matter of fact, all of us, or Taker and I, have two. LL has Jimmy Hart, and George now has Gedo on his manager board. So that brings us into round number 3. And Taker, you are sitting as the only person with both a tag team and a single star. So you're pretty much in the catbird seat. You can go either direction you want to go. The floor is yours. Yeah. Round 3 begins.
I'm debating between my third and my fourth right now. I've got two names in mind, but I think I'm going to go with what my original plan is so far. It seems to be working out perfectly. This gentleman that I'm going to pick is a singles wrestler also. Wrestled in AWA, wrestled down south, was a booker for a time, played professional football for the San Diego Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, God.
Big, tall man. Very tall man. Had bad knees from football. Was always getting fluid drained off of his knees before matches, but yet wrestled for close to 20 years. I'm talking about Ernie the Big Cat Ladd.
It's a great pick.
The reason I pick him is that if I wanted to throw a tag team together, imagine a tag team of The Undertaker in his heel persona with Ernie Ladd going against Bockwinkel and Stevens.
Hell, I'm imagining Undertaker versus Ernie Ladd. To be
honest
with you.
You got two big men that could go.
Yeah, and it's one thing we've learned watching wrestling is that big men will always draw.
Yes.
And talented big men. Talented big men will always draw.
And Ernie Ladd was always great on the mic. Great promo. You know, it was always Mr. TV Announcer. He never called the person by their name. It was always Mr. TV Announcer.
Wow, that's a good one. I gotta give you props on that one. I did not have Ernie Ladd on my board, and I'm regretting it because that would have been a solid pick. Wow, LL, I'll tell you what. I mean, Taker's got quite a board going, and you've got quite the tag division going. You're going to go 3-peat on the tag teams. You're going for singles. You're going for
it's another tag team for right now.
Jesus.
And this one is the Road Warriors.
Great pick. God, great pick.
Road Warriors. Animal and Paul Ellering.
Oh, my God, what a pick.
Wow.
What a pick. To go third, Biff.
Holy crap.
That tells you just how talented this entire board is. You know, we're talking, like I said before we came on air, we're talking from like the days of Gorgeous George all the way till now. It's huge. The pool of talent is huge.
And see, this is the interesting thing. And as I was telling George, my board keeps altering because I keep seeing my tag team choices go off the board here. So I have to vary it up a little bit and alter my plans accordingly. But honestly, I'm a little surprised that he hasn't gone yet, because if you're talking about mainstream appeal, box office, putting asses in seats, he was one of the best at it.
I know who it is.
Yes, I'm sure you do. He didn't have as long a run as some of the other people that we've been drafting, but if you're going to talk about the Undertakers and Austins, you also got to talk about The Rock.
Yep.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson, I'm taking him for the year 2000. I think that was his best year. By far for business and from wrestling quality. And if LL is going to be the promotion of tag teams, I'm going to be the promotion of stickmen. I've got Flair, Savage, and Rock now. I got 3 of the best.
I hate you.
I'm so sorry. I know you wanted.
I hate you. But
I know The Rock and Austin and Okada would have been a hell of a threesome, but I got to go.
I got one for you. Here's my fallback. You ready?
Go for it.
My fallback only happens to be one of the best wrestlers of all time. We're going back to Japan, but we're not going New Japan. We're going to go all Japan.
No, don't do this.
Give me 1999 Mitsuharu Misawa.
No!
Right at the apex of his King Rhodesness.
No.
Now, I will trade you him for The Rock and a player to be named later, my friend. You know, we'll have to hash that out afterwards. But you talk about drawing butts and seats. Those Kings Roads matches drew nothing but people in seats.
Well, what you did is basically you knocked out not one pick, but 2 picks, because now my second pick.
Oh, you were going to go for him in Kawato or?
Kawato,
yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that
I wanted this. I wanted him as a singles, as great as he was as a tag team. I really wanted him as a singles because I just think some of those matches are just, especially when you start getting to when they form Noah, and he builds Noah from scratch. It's just okay, I'm in. So that's a hell of a pick, my friend. The Rock is pretty great.
I'm not going to complain about getting The Rock. I'm just, it's like it is what it is. So, but there's a distinct flavor developing for each of the 4 promotions, and I'll go ahead and do the quick recap of round 3. Undertaker, Dick Bockwinkel, Ray Stevens, and Big Cat Ernie Ladd fills out Taker's board so far. LL has gone all tag team. She's got the Hart Foundation with Jimmy Hart, the British Bulldogs, and the Road Warriors with Precious Paul Ellering. Biff has Ric Flair with J.J. Dillon, the Macho Man Randy Savage with Miss Elizabeth, and The Rock from 2000. And George going with a heavy Japan contingent, Kazuchika Okada from 2017 with Geto, Mitsuharu Misawa from 1999, and of course his number 1 overall pick was Stone Cold Steve Austin from 1997. So we got distinct flavors. LL's got the tag division on lockdown. Taker's got the big men and that 70s vibe working with Bockwinkel and Stevens. George has got the international flavor going, and Biff is all basic promos and ring work right now. So we're going to have to see where it goes. We're getting close to the midway point of this thing. We got another round to go before we get there. TM, number 4 overall pick. The floor is yours. Be gentle. We've had some real heartbreakers already.
This one's going to be a tag team.
Oh, son of a biscuit. Don't do this to me. Don't do it to me. I know who you're taking. Don't do it. Don't do it.
They were champions in the WWF as well as the WWF multiple times. They are from the first family of Samoa.
Oh, great pick.
I'm taking Alpha and Sika, the Wild Samoans, with Captain Lou Albano.
Yeah, you're welcome for that idea.
What to say now? The Wild Samoa, put the Wild Samoans in as faces because they turn face even with Captain Blue in a match with Bockwinkel and Stevens to see what you get.
Your promotion has definitely taken on a very distinct vibe.
A very beefy.
Yes. But nobody in the group is overly muscle bound though.
No.
These are all strong characters, strong wrestlers that went out and worked their asses off.
We know what promotion Clara Peller's watching. That's TM's promotion. So
who's that?
The old lady from the Wendy's commercials would always come out and say, "Where's the beef?" The beef is with TM right here. So it's, because the Wild Samoans and Ernie Ladd and Undertaker, that's a whole lot of humanity.
Yeah, it is.
So
gotta give you props. You could, the Wild Samoans are, they scared me when I was younger.
They scared me when I was older.
Scare everybody.
I mean, they were taking. I remember you would see this. You would see the shows that they had the old wooden seats, wooden folding chairs, and they would break them over their own heads. And you're like, okay, yeah. Eating raw fish, never spoke a word. Captain, I went down there and I found these guys. And the way he promoted them was great. Captain Lou was great on the mic for him. So it just works out beautifully.
Yeah.
Imagine a promo battle between Captain Lou and Bobby Heenan.
And Paul Bearer sticking in the wings to boot. So
yeah.
That's something, that you and LL both, your draft so far, you not only have you got some diverse talent in there, but you've got the managers on lockdown. Between the two of you, we've got Heenan, Bearer, Albano, Jimmy Hart, and Paul Ellering all off the board, which, by the way, that actually, I'm going to finally change my strategy. I'm finally bumping somebody up to accommodate this.
Me too.
Yeah, so.
if he lasts. He may not last, but
he may not. We'll see. LL, yeah, you're at number 4, so you've got 3 tag teams on the board. You sticking with that trend, or are you going to go singles?
No, I'm going to do a singles. But the thing is it's going to be an uncle to Phil's tag team, to TM's tag team, and grandfather to one of yours. I'm taking High Chief Peter Maivia.
Wow.
Great pick.
Wow.
Great.
Great pick.
One of the first wrestlers.
That might be the shocker of the draft right there.
Yeah, but I love that pick, though.
One of the first wrestlers I've ever seen was High Chief Peter Maivia. That was one of the very first wrestlers I ever watched.
I gotta hand it to you. That's another one. It's kind of like Ernie Ladd. I didn't have him on my board personally, but now that I see your board shaping up, I can almost see Maivia and a partner just blasting the crap out of the Road Warriors.
Because you look at it, like I said, you got his grandson, and TM's got his nephews.
That's a hell of a pick. I gotta hand it to you. That's
a great pick. I love it.
That's a really good pick. And I'm still going to have to deviate from my board.
I already did, if you haven't, but
I was going with the tag team here originally, but if I miss my tag teams, I've got like 3 tag teams that I would be happy to land, so I'm not uber concerned with it. I've got a pretty good main event scene brewing with Flair, Savage, and The Rock. I want an upper card guy, and I would like to secure another great manager. So this is probably going to be my dark horse pick, and it's going to be the most probably surprising pick for me. Not someone that I talk about very often, but it is someone who had just a hell of a run in the NWA memorable stretch. I'm going to 1989, the NWA, and I am taking with my number 4 pick, the Great Muta, with Gary Hart as his manager.
Whoa!
That's a pick.
There's number 4.
That is awesome. And I am very glad you did not draft my next pick. But that is a great pick.
That is great. I mean, Muta with the mist. Oh, the green.
Would you believe I never heard of him?
Oh, you're missing out.
You're missing
Stuff
out.
he did with Sting in WCW, and it's on the network. Well, I'll get you some links when we're done here.
Yeah, he is so amazing. It's awesome. So.
I am going to run to the podium. Not walk, run to the podium. I need a tag team, guys. You notice how I don't have a tag team?
Yeah, you don't have a tag team yet.
I have a suspicion.
I need a tag team, and I'm going to go a little older school.
I have a suspicion.
And I'm going to go a little older school. Let's go back to 1983, and let's do Stan Hansen and Bruiser Brody.
Wow. Oh, you rat bastard, you. Oh, you hurt me.
Ooh, wee.
Death.
Yeah, that was I figured I had Stan on my board, I had Bruiser on my board, and I said, wait a second.
Put them together.
They were a tag team.
They were a tag team for a while, on and off through the early 80s, and they were great at it.
Yes, they were. They qualified.
The Funks, and they wrestled a bunch, Jumbo a lot, and it was so.
Jumbo Saruta, there's a name. Wow,
that's a name. I imagine we'll hear from him again before the night is over.
I'm sure.
But yeah, Bruiser Brody and Stan Hansen, and that's an audible. You talked about changing your draft board. I figured I need to pick a tag team sooner or later. You know.
Yep.
I'm the only person on the board without a tag team right now. So
I mean, they're going fast, my friend.
Well, a lot of them are gone. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. A lot of the ones you wanted are gone.
Yeah. So, and I imagine some of the ones that I have on my board are in danger. So, let's recap it here. We got the Wild Samoans, Alpha and Sika, with Captain Lou Albano going to Taker's Minion with his 4th round pick. LL goes with a single star for the first time in this draft. On her board is the High Chief Peter Maivia. Great pick. Biff went with the Great Muta of 1989 with Gary Hart. He wanted to get another manager in there, and he wanted a really talented performer to go with him. So that was the Great Muta in his 4th pick. And then George goes with the Stunner, the Bruiser Brody Stan Hansen pairing from 1983 for his first tag team. And now the board really begins to narrow. We are at pick number 5, so we're coming to the halfway point of the draft. Taker, your board might be the most diverse in terms of talent on there. You've got singles guys, you've got tag teams, you've got managers out the yin-yang. So really, you can pretty much go any direction you want. Who is your 5th pick going to be?
It's a singles wrestler. Immigrant from Italy after World War II.
Oh,
longest reigning Worldwide Wrestling Federation (WWF) heavyweight champion of over a grand total of 2 reigns of over 11 years.
Your second show.
Our second show that we talked about this man on this particular group. I'm taking the one, the only Bruno Sammartino, and I'm amazed that he was still available at this pick.
He was on my short list of the next 3 picks to take, but once Albano went, I realized that I was going to be stuck without many managers, and I love managers, so I kind of bumped up Muda on my board. That's a tough loss, but Bruno Sammartino, a tremendous value at number 5.
Great value.
Yeah, that is pretty shocking that he went number 17 overall in this draft. So that just shows you the kind of depth that there actually is in this field. There's some huge names that haven't been taken. I'm just throwing that out there. So,
and you took the guy I wanted to take at 5. I was looking at Flair at 5, believe it or not.
Yeah, so
that tells you just how diverse this whole thing is.
Oh yeah, so there's just because we're getting to pick 18 in the draft, there's still a world of tag teams. There's a world of male talent, female talent. We haven't seen a female performer go on the board yet.
No,
not as the primary pick at least. We did have a valet, Miss Elizabeth, go, but still a lot of women's wrestlers out there. Cruiserweights haven't really gone yet. So, LL at number 5, the board is yours. Who are you picking with your next pick?
Okay, I'm taking a singles. He could be part of a tag team, but I'm going to split that up. I'm going with Nikita Koloff.
Ooh.
A strong move.
Ooh, that's another good one.
Him and Dusty Rhodes, and the way they were at it, they did great. So instead of him and his uncle, I'm going to just take Nikita.
I can't fault you on that one. You were talking about Peter Maivia maybe having someone to work with, Nikita Koloff and Peter Maivia.
That'd be great.
Trading chops and sickles.
Oh yeah.
So you're pretty much. I imagine
you forget one finisher that Peter Maivia had. He had the Samoan stump puller.
Well, LL's promotion is definitely going to be based out of San Francisco with Peter Maivia. I can tell you that right now. So
yeah, right. Can you picture them selling out the Cow Palace every week?
Well, it's not just there.
With that talent, yeah.
A lot of his was done in Hawaii. He did a lot of his wrestling in Hawaii.
Yeah, he owned the promotion there. Peter Maivia did.
Yep, and that's where he started in Samoa for wrestling, but most of his time wrestling was in Hawaii.
I mean,
what you got for us?
Well, this is going to. I struggle with this pick. Now, I'm not struggling with the actual pick itself. I'm struggling with the time period because depending on what year I choose, I can get not one manager but 2. And I'm trying to decide if I want to leave this second manager off and let someone else take him, or if I just want to scoop him up. I am thinking that I'm going to stick with the one manager because I'm getting the good manager. I need a tag team. I am rapidly seeing all of my choices go. This is not a very difficult decision. We just talked about this tag team last week. It's my favorite tag team of all time. From the great year of 1988, Jim Cornette proudly presents From the Dark Side, beautiful Bobby Eaton, and Sweet Stan Lane, the Midnight Express. I'm not going with 87. I'm leaving Big Bubba off my board.
Every mother's nightmare and every girl's dream.
There you go. I need a tag team to anchor down that part of the roster, and Midnight Express will be that team for me. I am going with the Midnight Express with my number 5 overall pick.
That's good.
I was thinking on them, but I figured I was going to leave one for you.
Thank you so much for that. If I had missed the midnights, I just wasn't doing tag teams.
I wanted Jim Cornette.
That's what you wanted. You wanted Jim Cornette.
Oh, well,
I have a name for you. I have a name for you. I just thought of these guys about 5 minutes ago.
Uh-oh.
I've done a lot of Japanese. I don't want to do any Japanese for this pick. I don't even want to do any I don't even want to do any American for this pick. I need a tag team. I need a tag team.
Uh-oh.
And I need some heels that can draw monster heat.
How
Hey, boys and girl, how does Los Gringos Locos sound? Eddie Guerrero and Art Barr from 1994.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
Oh, shit.
You know, that goes great with a Twitter feed that I seen today. They're celebrating the Mexican wrestlers, and Sasha Banks, who is her favorite Mexican wrestler?
Eddie Guerrero.
That's right.
I mean, and I have talked on my show, which you can listen to Thursdays at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. I have talked on my show about Eddie Guerrero and Art Barr versus at When Worlds Collide losing their hair, and it's the heat is off the charts. So I'm trying to draw from all groups of wrestling fans, and we know Eddie can go with anybody, and we know Art can go with anybody, you know. And it's two guys, and in my world, we're gonna make sure the drugs stay far away, because rest in peace to both of them. You know, both taken from us too soon. But that's my pick: Eddie Guerrero and Art Barr, 1994, Los Gringos Locos.
That might be my favorite sleeper of the draft. That's a hell of a tag team.
I don't know.
That's a great.
I've got one in my back pocket right now.
Oh, I love it.
Well, let's get a recap, because we are officially at the halfway point of this draft. And I tell you what, these promotions are really starting to take shape. Taker's Minion, the first 5 picks, he's got a lot of talent from the 70s, 60s, into the 80s and 90s here. And, well, even today with The Undertaker. But he's got Nick Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens with Bobby the Brain Heenan, The Undertaker with Paul Bearer, The Big Cat, Ernie Ladd, The Wild Samoans, Alpha and Sika with Captain Lou Albano and Bruno Sammartino. That's his first 5 picks. LL, she went tag team heavy. The Hart Foundation, Bret the Hitman Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart with Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart as manager. The British Bulldogs, Davey Boy Smith and the Dynamite Kid. The Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal with Precious Paul Ellering. The High Chief, Peter Maivia, and Nikita Koloff, the Russian Nightmare, rounds out her first 5 picks. Biff went mostly singles. Nature Boy Ric Flair with James J. Dillon, his number 1. Of course, Macho Man Randy Savage with Miss Elizabeth. The Rock from the year 2000. The Great Muta with Gary Hart, and the Midnight Express, beautiful Bobby Eaton and Sweet Stan Lane with the Louisville Lip, Jim Cornette. So, to George, we have Stone Cold Steve Austin of 97, Kazuchika Okada from 2017 with Ghetto, Mitsuharu Misawa, the great Mitsuharu Misawa from 1999, tag team of Bruiser Brody and Stan the Lariat Hansen from 1983, and another tag team, Los Gringos Locos, Art Barr, and Eddie Guerrero from, I guess, 93, 94?
93, 94, thereabouts.
That's a hell of a board. It's a hell of a draft so far. We are halfway through.
And there's so much talent left.
So much talent left. We got 4 more picks with the talent, and then our 10th and final pick each will be a commentary team. That'll be our 10th pick, and then, hell, if we enjoy this and people like this as much, we may pick this up again next week and keep going. We'll see. But let's go ahead and finish tonight first. Let's get to pick number 6 for Taker's Minion. This will be pick number 21 overall. TM, the floor is yours.
Well, I had a single initially set up for this spot, but I'm amazed that this tag team is still available, and I'm moving them up on my board. They were from Texas, both of them. Heavy drinkers, basically were heels in the time I first saw them. It's one of the first matches I went to in Chicago as a kid. I'm taking the original Texas Outlaws in Dirty Dick Murdoch and Dusty Rhodes. I know that hurts a lot of people.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah, Dusty was my next pick. So
Why?
Thanks for that.
Why do you think I changed up? I had a feeling he was going to go, so I had to get it. Well, I
That
had
was
to
one of mine.
I had to strike while the iron was hot.
I was going to do Dusty Rhodes and Magnum TA.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm taking the original Texas Outlaws.
Good
And
pick.
these guys had a reputation of being major drinkers. Remember, they lived in an apartment in Dallas area that they actually had a mule. That they lived on a second floor apartment. They had a mule in their apartment with them. Now figure that out.
Mm. That's a good one. Losing Dick Murdoch hurts. Losing Dusty Rhodes hurts a lot. Yeah,
that is a big loss.
That hurts a lot. LL, be gentle. You're number 6 overall. That's a tough one.
Well, I'm going to take, it's going to be another team. And this one here is recent. And it's 3. I'm going to take the Shield.
Oh, damn you.
Oh, wow.
Damn you.
Wow.
I wrote them down.
Ooh, the first real big modern act. Kind of big deal.
I'm going with the Shield.
Don't forget about Okada.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, in WWE, I meant. Sorry. Okada obviously is reason.
Sierra Hotel India Echo Lima Delta. The Shield. Good pick. Damn good pick. I had completely forgotten about them.
I mean, separately they're good, but they're great when they're together.
And they can wrestle anybody. Legends. Anybody.
Yep.
And it would work.
They work better together.
That's what I would love to see. This is a match I would love to see. Is a 6-man between the Shield and the New Day.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
That would be tear the house down. Good.
I'm going to have to alter my board again because I'm not going to say that I was going to take the Shield specifically, but the Shield actually made me realize that I need a little bit more variety in my roster. I've got a roster that is full of talkers and work rate, and I need some bruisers to get in here a little bit. Now, I know how much George loves Stan Hansen and Bruiser Brody, but there's another man in the mix of best brawlers from the 80s from the Wrestling Observer newsletter that was kind of right in the same mix, and he had some brothers from Bad Street, USA that came with him. My number 6 overall is going to be the Fabulous Freebirds of 1983 with Michael P.S. Hayes, Terry Bam Bam Gordy, and Buddy Jack Roberts.
That's a great pick, my friend. And you talk about drawing houses. That's a great pick.
Yeah, if I can't get people drawn into my buildings with Jim Cornette, Michael P.S. Hayes, The Rock, Randy Savage, and Ric Flair talking, I don't deserve to be in business.
No, you don't.
See, I like the Fabulous Freebirds. I was going to take them, but I was going to switch to Jimmy Garvin.
You know what? I like Jimmy Jam Garvin. I like Precious Jimmy Garvin. But in terms of Freebirds units, I was never a big fan of the Freebirds in 89 or 90. I liked them more in Mid-South and World Class, so I wanted to go a little earlier. Had to go with Buddy Jack Roberts in that one. So, plus, he has just the most awesome perm in recorded history. Bleach blonde perms are just kind of my thing. So I had to go with that. I think I broke LL accidentally. I'm sorry. But George, well,
I got one for you. You ready?
Be gentle.
I need a worker.
Oh,
but you know what I need more than a worker?
Crap. I know who this is.
I need the ultimate good guy.
I know who this is.
I need the best baby face in the past 30 years.
I know who it is.
Someone to stand up to all my heels.
My future ex-husband.
I need 1989 Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Whoa, 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 whoa. That is... Oh, whoa. Okay.
That's what I need. The Steamboat that wrestled Ric Flair. And had that trilogy. That's the Ricky the Dragon Steamboat I want. I need a good guy. A white hat wearing baby face that my crowd can get behind. Who, oh, by the way, is one of the best in-ring workers of all time.
See, you juked when I thought you were going to, spin.
Well, sometimes you got to keep you on your toes,
Yep.
Yeah, no kidding.
I got 2 more names I want to get, and hopefully I can get them, but we'll see.
Well, I think one of your names is going to be going next round, just forewarning you.
I thought of that, but you know what? I said I need someone who can have a feud with any of my other guys, and it would be great.
Speaking of talented roster, let me just go ahead and recap here. You've got Steamboat, Eddie Guerrero and Art Barr, Bruiser Brody and Stan Hansen, Masaru Misawa, Kazuchika Okada, and Steve Austin.
I mean, I'm pretty happy so far.
About the only thing you don't really have compared to the others is managers, but
I got talkers though.
You don't really need the managers when you got some of those talkers.
Exactly. And I got one more. I got a manager coming next round if he's still around. So
okay.
Hint.
Okay, so we'll be on the lookout for that one. We got 3 more picks, and then our commentary pick will be number 10. There's so many top.
So 3 more worker picks and a commentary, right?
Three more worker picks and a commentary pick.
I got my 3 lined up.
There's 4 total, and so it's going to be a dogfight to the finish to see who gets what talent. Taker, you are back up. This is number 7 for you, and Lord, this is going to be pick number 25 overall, I do believe.
Okay, another tag team was an opponent of the original Texas Outlaws.
Ooh.
Had a great series of matches with them.
Oh, shit.
I'm taking, both of them were former football players. One's a former bricklayer in South Milwaukee, lived in South Milwaukee, was a neighbor of LL herself,
thanks a lot.
and a drinking partner of her father. Yes, I'm taking the only tag team of Dick the Bruiser Aphelis and Terry the Crusher Lasowski.
Strong pick, my friend. Especially this late.
Yes.
I mean, I'm amazed that they were still available.
That was going to be my next pick.
Oh, shoot.
You know me with Crusher.
Oh, I know that because you were on his shoulders as a kid. I know. But I didn't think, I would have thought she'd have took them a long time ago.
No, because some of the other ones I had to take because I knew they would go.
Yeah. Well, you know me, I'm old school as all hell.
So, well, yeah. I got to give you props. That's a hell of a get right there. I give you kudos for that one. That's an awesome pick, especially that late. Your tag division with Bockwinkel and Stevens, Dick the Bruiser and the Crusher, the Texas Outlaws and the Wild Samoans. That's strong. That's definitely that's digging into the 60s and 70s for some tag team gold there, my friend. And with the Undertaker, Ernie Ladd, and Bruno Sammartino, you definitely got the big hosses. The World Hoss Federation is building their GM. LL, he took Dick the Bruiser and the Crusher from you, but you got a lot of talent left to choose from. It's your number 7 overall pick.
Okay, it's another tag team. These guys, these ones I could take separately. They're great separately, but they did great together. Let's see. They were big heels. But they're female.
Oh, okay.
I'm taking the Divas of Doom.
The first women go at number 7 for LL.
The Divas of Doom.
Beth Phoenix and Natty Neidhart.
Wow.
Great pick.
I can't fault that pick.
I really can't either. And I tell you, I was struggling.
Something wrong with me if I didn't take my icon.
Well,
there would be really something wrong.
I was struggling with the choice between taking female performers or going with more tag teams. That's gonna kind of make you think.
She killed 2 birds with 1 stone in that move.
Yeah, she really did. So
she took women's.
She's got women's wrestlers, and she took a tag team that are women. So I mean, she just killed it.
Right there, you figure you got the Glamazon. She is great as a singles wrestler. Natty is great as a singles wrestler. Technical, everything. But you put those 2 together. And
they were gold.
They were almost unbeatable.
I give you props. believe it or not, I'm gonna have to change my board up because that actually kind of made up my decision for me. I think
I know who you're going with. I have a real strong feeling I know who you're going with.
I know who you're thinking, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's not who you're thinking.
Oh, I thought you would take them.
I want to,
God,
but
you ought to then, because if you don't, someone else might.
No, yeah, if I don't, you're going to take them with your next pick. I know exactly what you're going to do. I would love to take them. I really would. I'm not going to say them because George might swoop them from you, and then you would be mad at me. So I'm not going to say the women that I'm thinking of. But I will go with another tag team. Now, this is a tag team that I wanted from the very start. And before we outlawed the selection of factions, this was going to be pretty much a no-brainer for me. But this is one of my favorite all-time tag teams. They wrestled in both the NWA and the WWF. Had a lot of success. They were associates of one Nature Boy Ric Flair and James Dillon. I'm going with the tag team from 1988 of the Enforcer, Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, the Brain Busters.
Jesus.
So I needed more tag busters. Needed more tag teams, so it's time to get my avatar, Arn Anderson, on the board. He goes number 7 with Tully Blanchard.
So my dad's favorite wrestler of all time, Arn Anderson. I'll never hate that pick.
There you go.
So, yep, that's a good pick. Solid.
I need a manager, guys. I don't have one. Well, I have Ghetto, but I need a manager who speaks English. So,
okay,
I need to draft somebody who is managed by this person to get them as manager, right?
Correct.
So how about we get somebody hailing from Minneapolis, Minnesota, now residing in Saskatchewan, Canada. He is a NCAA heavyweight wrestling champion. He is a UFC heavyweight wrestling champion. He is the Beast, the Conqueror, Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman.
Oh, God.
Now, I think I'm going to want 03 Brock. I thought about this for a little bit because he's way more mobile, way more scary, way more authentic, way less PG. I think I'm going to go with the Brock from 0203, that Brock, not the Brock from 2012, 2013. But either way, I'm happy. So give me Brock Lesnar from 2003. And Paul Heyman, obviously.
Holly dangerously.
Yep.
Well, that wipes out Paul E. Dangerously and Rick Rude, which is where I was going with number 8.
That would be a great pick.
Thank you for that one. I mean, good God. I mean, we're talking about.
By the way, I still have like 3 of my top 6 left on the board.
I've got 2 of my top. Yeah, I might have to go with one of my guys here next.
So we have 2 picks to the commentator, right?
Yep. Yes, okay. And that's if we stick with the commentator. As much talent is left on the board.
I think we should just call an audible and go with the.
We may just have to audible. I don't know.
Do the commentators next week.
We'll figure that out. So we got 3 more picks. Let's recap round 7. Brock Lesnar goes to George with Paul Heyman, one of the best managers in the business. Team Biff takes the Brainbusters of '88 with Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. We've got the Divas of Doom, the first female picks, Beth Phoenix and Natty Neidhart, Natalia. They go at number 7 for Team LL. And then Taker's Minion, with his 7th overall, takes Dick the Bruiser and the Crusher, another great tag team from the 70s there. So, I mean, we've got rosters that are filling up with a lot of big names, but there's a lot of huge names still on the board, including 1 or 2, I should say, that I think are about to go. I know they're near and dear to Taker's heart. When I didn't take them, I think he probably decided he's going to jump on them because he knows I'll take him with my next pick if you don't. So let's go ahead and get this over with. Taker, like ripping a Band-Aid off. Go ahead.
I'm grabbing the Band-Aid. I'm going to rip it off of your knee there, Biff.
Go ahead and take them. Go ahead and take them.
You know, this is a tag team that was way ahead of their time. We did the very first show, Connoisseurs of Wrestling, about them. That it was started all because of a question I asked on one of the threads on Cage Side Seats. They had a series of matches with the Blonde Bombers. They are known as the Jumping Bomb Angels.
Good pick.
Yeah, that's quality for your women's division right there in your promotion, and it also gives you innovators. Really, they were quite innovative for their era. Some of the best female performers in the history of the company, Norio Tatino and Itsuki Yamazaki, the Jumping Bomb Angels, going number 8 overall for Taker's Minion. His first female selection, so some of these females are starting to come off the draft pool. LL, you going to follow suit with another female performer? You going back to tag teams, or
no? I'm going to do it singles. I'm sticking with Canada, and I'm going with Brian Pillman.
Oh my God,
that's a great pick.
Wait, was no,
I took Austin by himself.
That's right. That's right. So Pillman was available. You're correct.
Pillman is available,
especially this late to get that kind of value.
Oh, that's a tremendous value. That's a versatile value. That's face, heel, heavyweight, junior heavyweight. That's anywhere you want him.
I'm sticking with the Hart family there. You got to admit.
That's great. That's a great pick, Taker.
Out of Stu Hart's
or Legends, excuse me.
People coming out of Stu Hart's dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
Pillman spent some time there.
Yeah, he did. He did. And another taken from us far too soon.
Yeah.
Imagine if you get Brian Pillman before the Hummer accident.
Oof.
Oh my gosh.
That's
wow.
That's sparkling.
If Brian Pillman, I mean, is one of the great what ifs, and I don't want to derail this, but Brian Pillman, if he never gets hurt, and we're doing this draft again, he's a top 5 pick overall if he reaches his full potential. I firmly believe that.
Oh yeah.
A lot of what ifs, obviously, but if he never gets hurt, and since he never gets hurt, he's not on the painkillers and the drugs. I mean, we're talking an all-timer.
For a small guy, he could move.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, hell, Brian Pillman played football for the Bengals as a wedge buster.
Yeah.
You know he had to be insane.
He was a defensive lineman in college. Like he was just pure motor.
Yeah, and he was tiny little shit.
Yeah. So,
George or Biff,
Biff.
All right. Brian Pillman changes the game, and I'm gonna call my shot here. I'm not taking any female performers, nor am I taking cruiserweights. I had originally wanted to get a cruiserweight and a female performer to kind of anchor those divisions. I'm going to wait until next week because I am assuming, I have a feeling that we've all had so much fun with this. We might pick this up again.
I think we should.
I do too. I'm enjoying myself.
At least five more rounds.
Yeah, I think we're going to go another week with this concept, so I'm going to hold off. And the reason I'm doing that is because I have to choose one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Okay. And he is of the same mold as Brian Pillman. I'm going back to 1988. This is not the time period that you would expect this guy to go, but he's one of the most beloved wrestlers in the history of the business, considered one of the ultimate pranksters behind the scenes, one of the ultimate good guys. He also came out of the dungeon, and he was taken from us way too soon.
Wow, I know exactly who it is.
In his era, before he hurt his knee, he was considered the greatest technical wrestler in the world, even better than his brother. I'm going from 1988, from Stampede Wrestling and Japan, the legendary Owen Hart. He is my number 8 overall pick. That guy.
I knew.
So we are for sure doing at least 5 more rounds of this?
At least 5.
At least 5 more, because this is way too much fun.
It's a blast. I'm loving this.
Because I did do Brian Pillman. Owen Hart was my next pick.
Yeah. You know, Biff, you mentioned it. You said technical wrestling, and that really got me thinking. He's got an award named after him. The Wrestling Observer Newsletter Technical Wrestling Award is named after this gentleman. So I'm going to pick 2006 Bryan Danielson.
Ooh,
wow.
That's a good one.
Yes.
Right at the height of his Ring of Honor, packing houses all over the world and having great matches with everybody. So, and especially because we're getting more draft, I can push off some of my deep sleepers
Who was it?
Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan from
Oh,
2006. So and authentic and great matches, great charisma, great crowd heat, and especially someone getting him in the 8th round. I'm kind of proud of that pick.
It's a very solid pick at number 8 for you, and that roster of yours is looking like a dream roster. Let's recap.
And I still got like 4 or 5 more names that y'all are going to say, oh, great pick, I hope.
Trust me, I've got one coming here in the next pick or two that if he's not gone, people are going to kind of question how the hell did he last.
So we're doing the commentary next week.
Yeah, we're going to push off the commentary.
Okay.
There's too much talent to not go all 3. For round 8, the recap: Owen Hart, Brock Lesnar. My lord, let me write this down. Bryan Danielson from 06, you said. That's Ring of Honor era Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, 06, 07, 08, thereabouts.
The American Dragon, Bryan Danielson,
exactly.
Ring of Honor. That'll be George's 8th pick overall. Biff went with Owen Hart from 1988, his kind of a Stampede New Japan era run for Owen Hart. Team LL goes with Brian Pillman, man, and Jumping Bomb Angels for TM. Damn, the 8th round might be the best pure round of overall in-ring talent.
Can you believe all those names fell?
Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
That far. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah.
And I've got some talent still on my board that I'm amazed is still around.
There are 2 names that have to go in this next round. If not, I'm taking one of them. So,
Okay.
TM, you've got your number 9 pick, so make it a good one.
I've got a choice between 2 tag teams.
Okay.
Both of whom have been champions one has been champion in the AWA and the other one was involved in a very famous match. I think I'm going to take the tag team that was involved in a match at Soldier Field in 1976. That was 35 minutes of absolute carnage between 4 men.
You're just adding to your Haas appeal in this roster right now. I'm just letting you know
I'm taking the original Blackjack, so Blackjack Mulligan and Blackjack Lanza, and I'm adding them to my loaded and stacked tag team division.
I was waiting for you to take them.
I'm a little shocked they made it that far down. I was going to let you have them because I knew you wanted them at some point. So that tag team division of yours. You talk about buckets of blood.
Yes.
The Outlaws, the Samoans, Bockwinkel and Stevens, the Blackjacks, Dick the Bruiser, and the Crusher.
And don't forget Dirty Dick and Dusty.
Yeah, the Texas Outlaws. So, yeesh. That's Murderer's Row of badass bruising tag teams. So, and where you have the bruising tag teams, LL's got a lot of finesse tag teams, and then she's got the Road Warriors who are basically
killed everybody.
Basically in the potato business. So, and then she's got Brian Pillman. So, I mean, she's got some variety on her roster too. Yep. LL, your number 9 overall pick.
Okay, I'm going to take this one as a singles. And it seems like you took a couple of his partners. I'm going with Barry Windham.
Oh, my God, no.
No. What a pick.
No.
Wow, what a pick.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
That had to hurt, Biff.
Yeah, he was my next pick so I could fill out my damn Horseman.
That name is
so she did the Shinsuke Nakamura crotch shot to you with that pick, huh?
Yeah, the King of Dong style over there.
I can't believe some of the names left.
Can you imagine teaming these 2 up? Brian Pillman and Barry Windham.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's amazing. I wanted Barry Windham to complete my Horseman unit, and unfortunately I'm not going to be able to, so I'll have to do something else, unfortunately. But since you took Barry Windham, I'm dropping a nuclear bomb on this freaking draft because there's one particular talent that hasn't gone. I'm shocked that he's made it this far. He was not originally on my board to choose because I did not think that I would have any hope in hell of get. No, you know what? No, screw this. I'm gonna throw the rule book out here. I'm not taking him as a single. I'm taking him as a tag team.
Uh-oh.
And I'm getting another main event tag team to boot because I need a good babyface tag team to match up with the Midnights and the Brainbusters. You know what? I'm a little shocked that the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels hasn't gone anywhere.
Great pick.
And Triple H hasn't gone anywhere either. I'm taking D-Generation X from 2006.
Oh, the old guys.
Triple H. I'm taking the older guys.
Right. That Michaels was my next pick, by the by. So thank you for that.
Wow.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna have to call a little bit of an audible.
Wow.
I'm gonna call an audible. And I'm going to pick, and you know, I like to lean towards drawing ability, right? If you haven't figured it out by now, right?
Yeah.
And I think we can say that one man is responsible. I picked the man who's responsible for saving the World Wrestling Federation in 1997, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick the man responsible for saving New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I'm taking 2012 Hiroshi Tanahashi.
That's a solid pick.
Solid.
That's a solid pick.
Go Ace, you know? Right at the heart of his just otherworldly charisma and drawn crowds we talked about all over the world. And oh, by the way, he's one of the 15 best workers of all time.
Yeah,
and he can do whatever I want him to do in that spot. And at number 9, I am quite happy getting him.
I'm just shocked that Shawn Michaels, Barry Windham, and Hiroshi Tanahashi made it that far down.
I can't believe it.
Yeah,
I cannot believe it. And look at some of the names that are left that are on my board that have not been picked.
I got
all timers.
Yeah,
I mean, all timers. So
yeah, you want to talk about a bitch and a half is trying to figure out who my final pick is.
Yeah,
because
I got like 5 names where I'm like, shit, I love all of these guys.
Yeah,
I've got a handful of names myself.
Oh,
I think I've narrowed it down. But okay, takers, what you got for us?
This is going to be such a difficult choice. Well, I'll tell you what. Since this is the number 9 pick, I'm going to let Taker go ahead and through, and then before we make our 10th and final, I'll give a recap of everything so far.
Are we on? Was that 8 we just did? Or
that
was
was
9?
That was number. I'm sorry. That was number 9, wasn't it?
That was number 9. Yeah, we got 1 pick each left.
Okay, so let me recap the board then, because this is our final pick, and since we're not doing commentators this week, we can go ahead and do more talent. Taker, your board so far: Dick Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens with Bobby the Brain Heenan. We have The Undertaker with Paul Bearer, the Big Cat Ernie Ladd, the Wild Samoans Afa and Sika with Captain Lou Albano, the great Bruno Sammartino in at number 5, Dirty Dick Murdoch and Dusty Rhodes, the Texas Outlaws at number 6, Dick the Bruiser and the Crusher at number 7, the Jumping Bomb Angels, Norio Tatino and Itsuki Yamazaki coming in at number 8, and at number 9 you had the original Blackjacks, Blackjack Mulligan and Blackjack Lanza. That is your board so far. Team LL, the Hart Foundation, Bret the Hitman Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart with the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. We've got the British Bulldogs, Davey Boy Smith and the Dynamite Kid. The Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal with Precious Paul Ellering. The High Chief, Peter Maivia. Nikita Koloff, the Russian Nightmare in at number 5. We've got the Shield, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins in at 6. The Divas of Doom, Beth Phoenix and Natty Neidhart coming in at number 7. Brian Pillman, the Loose Cannon, a.k.a. Flying Brian, at number 8. And Barry Windham coming in at number 9 for LL's roster. Biff went with Ric Flair, the Nature Boy, with James J. Dillon in at number 1, followed by the Macho Man Randy Savage with Miss Elizabeth. The Rock, the Great Muta with Gary Hart. The Midnight Express of Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane with Jim Cornette. Michael P.S. Hayes, Terry Bam Bam Gordy, and Buddy Jack Roberts, the Fabulous Freebirds. Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, the Brainbusters in at number 7, followed by 1988 era Owen Hart and D-Generation X of 2006, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, and the Game, Triple H. And, of course, Team George, starting off strong with Stone Cold Steve Austin from 97, going to Japan for Kazuchika Okada and Geto, with Mitsuharu Misawa in at number 3. We have Bruiser Brody and Stan the Lariat Hansen at 4. Los Gringos Locos, Art Barr and Eddie Guerrero, the late, great Art Barr and Eddie Guerrero coming in at number 5. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat in at 6. Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman at 7. Bryan Danielson, the workhorse, coming in at number 8. And Hiroshi Tanahashi, Go Ace, coming in at number 9. So we are now at the final pick. This is pick number 10, and it can be anybody you want. We're not doing commentators this week. It could be a singles, it could be a tag team, women, cruiserweight. Does not matter. If we want to go manager specific, if there's a manager out there that you just like to get, now's the time. Take her. Final pick of the night. Number 10 for you. There's a lot of big names still on the board.
Yeah, there are. Tough choice. Very, very tough. Tough decision to make, but I'm going with a singles wrestler. Unseated, a very, very popular champion, or very, very unpopular champion, I should say, in Superstar Billy Graham.
Ooh, nice pick.
No, it's not said in. That was the champion he defeated.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Because that's surprising that he's still on the board. This is also a WWF pick from the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. Was the champion for, I think, approximately 3 to 4 years. Can't remember. He also had a manager with him. Lost his title to the Iron Sheik. I'm going with Bob Backlund with Arnold Skaaland.
That's a strong pick to close it out, my friend. That is a strong pick.
Imagine a match between Bruno and him. Two guys that were, Bruno the bear hug versus the chicken wing crossface from Bob Backlund.
So we're going Bob Backlund and Arnold Skaaland with your pick there.
Correct.
Wow. Okay. So that rounds out your top 10, and that's a hell of a top 10. We'll recap at the end of the show, but you've got some of the great managers of all time, some of the great tag teams, and a hell of a lot of champions on that roster. So very well, very nicely done, Takers.
I got everything I wanted.
For you.
I did not have to really deviate my board much.
You were the only one, so
you didn't get everybody you wanted.
Who did I miss?
You'll find out next.
Okay.
Love it.
Shots fired. Here we go. LL, your 10th pick.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm picking the love of your life, Asuka.
I do believe
my final pick is going to be Asuka.
I do believe LL has the best of the women's divisions building so far.
Yes, she does. I'm not going to deny that.
We're all going to have to play catch up with her next week, I think.
Yep.
Okay, this is a tough call because there's 2 names that are on my board that have not been taken that I really want to take, and I want to. Well, actually, I've got 3. I got another tag team on here. I could choose 2, but this name was not on my board because I didn't think I would get him. I expected him to be gone. There's a wrestler that I would love to take. I'm struggling here. I'm really struggling because I want to take him so bad.
If the heart says take him, take him.
Well, here's the problem. There's someone left that is even better than he was that I have to take. It kills me to do this. I'll have to hope that he's there next week and hold off on him. I have to go with Kurt Angle from 2003.
You whore.
I had someone else that I wanted to take, but Kurt Angle not being off the board with Brock Lesnar. Well, you know what? Ooh, wait a minute. I might have to rescind that pick because I'm not sure how I want to do this. I could take Kurt Angle or I could take Team Angle and have the 3-person unit with Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin. Ooh.
But then you miss out on. But then can you branch off Kurt Angle in the singles?
That's the interesting thing because with the Freebirds, they pretty much just did 6-man. But with groups like the New Day, you've got the tag teams, but then you've also got the people like Big E doing single stuff on occasion. You know
and
what?
The Shield.
And the Shield, yeah. Because how does it work with the Shield? Are the Shield just allowed to do 6-mans, or can you branch them off?
Well,
Okay, you know what? We need to have a conference on this right quick because this is going to determine my final pick. You know,
I think if you pick a 3-man, you can branch them off if they were branched off in reality.
that's
How's that?
Yeah,
Like,
that's fair.
The Shield branched off because Ambrose was the United States champion forever.
Right, and Team Angle branched off because you had the tag champions of Haas and Benjamin, but Angle was the world champion.
Right. So yeah, it could be done. I don't have a problem with that.
In that case, I'm going Team Angle. I'm going to go
Team Angle. That's a good pick.
Yeah, Kurt Angle, Shelton Benjamin, and Charlie Haas.
Well, that was who I was going to take.
My final pick.
So that was who I was going to take, my friend.
I'm so sorry.
I have to settle, and I use the word settle in quotes. if my computer would scroll down to this man's accomplishments, and his accomplishments are many scroll downs on Wikipedia. You know the little championship and accomplishments?
Yeah.
He is a 2-time IWGP heavyweight champion. He is a PWG world champion. He is a Ring of Honor champion. He is a TNA world heavyweight champion 2 times. He is a Bound for Glory winner. He is a IWA Mid-South heavyweight champion. He is the WWE Wrestler of the Year, according to Rolling Stone. He is the most outstanding wrestler 3 years in a row, according to the voters of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. And he is the current reigning and defending WWE champion. I'm going to take the phenomenal one, AJ Styles.
God, how did I not think of AJ freaking Styles?
Yep.
Wow.
Give me the late New Japan / early WWE run, 2015-2016 AJ Styles. With the long hair and the muscles. As great as the flippy AJ Styles was, I want the heavyweight one.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I can't believe he lasted.
Your final 3 picks are Bryan Danielson, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and AJ Styles. You just made Meltzer cream his pants.
Me too. I'm walking around with shorts on for a reason, gentlemen.
You got the papers right now. I see.
Good thing I'm sitting down.
Yeah, and by the way, my last 3 were Team Angle, so Kurt Angle in there, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Owen Hart.
That's pretty great.
LL had Brian Pillman, Barry Windham, and Asuka. You talk about variety. And then TM's got the Blackjacks, Bob Backlund, and the Jumping Bomb Angels. So you talk about more variety. This was a hell of a deal, y'all. It was a hell of a deal.
This was fun. This was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
I loved it. That was so cool.
I started it out by putting shots across everybody's bow, not going with what everybody thought I was going to go with.
Some of the names that are on this list that have not been drafted are amazing, by the way.
Oh, God, yes.
You know what? I'm going to tell you right now, and because if he gets taken next week, he gets taken. I'll just be happy if he gets taken. The original person I was going to close out with was Billy Robinson. I wanted Billy Robinson, but with Kurt Angle not being gone and the ability to, use Kurt Angle as a single while still taking a tag team, the world's greatest tag team, pairing off against the Brainbusters or the Freebirds or the Midnight Express. I feel like I've got some work to do next week, though. I have no women.
Me neither.
Yeah, you and me, George. We don't have any women on our roster.
We need some women.
We're going to need some. We need women. Yes, we do. We need women next week. No real cruiserweight competitors, unless you count Brian Pillman, Dynamite Kid, Owen Hart from '88, who could be considered in that kind of range. Misawa from '99 is pretty much solidly heavyweight. Maybe Bryan Danielson, but he's also kind of heavyweight competitor.
I factored him as a heavyweight.
Yeah, so really, there's cruiserweights haven't really gone. There's still a ton of female performers out there. Still a lot of big name tag teams. I'll name a few off.
There's a lot of awesome second tier male wrestlers from the past 20 years out there still too.
Oh yeah, we got
horizon away from the United States and Japan.
Oh yeah, there's so many mid-card names out there. I'm going to name 3 right now that I'm surprised did not go. Kurt Hennig, I would have thought he would have been a top pick. I'm surprised that Rick Rude didn't go. I thought he
Mhm.
might have gotten a shot. And this guy really is not so much a mid card as he is a main eventer. Roddy Piper didn't go.
I got 3 for you that I'm shocked didn't go. You ready?
Go for it.
I'm surprised John Cena wasn't taken.
Yep.
I'm surprised Kenta Kobashi wasn't taken. And I'm surprised Atlantis wasn't taken, to be honest.
Well,
and how about this? I've got 3 more.
And that doesn't count the other names that weren't taken.
I got a couple more that were, and it's just nobody touched anybody in Lucha Underground.
You're right.
Got Pentagon Dark,
Or
Mil
Phoenix.
Muertes, Matanza. There's 3 names right there.
Or even Conan. If you want to talk about a draw.
Conan, Vampiro when he was good.
Yep. Rey Mysterio didn't go.
Rey Mysterio didn't go.
Raven didn't go.
Yeah. Nobody from ECW went. Mick Foley didn't go.
No.
Terry Funk, Mick Foley.
The
Andre
Funk
the
Brothers
Giant
didn't go.
Andre the Giant didn't go.
Jumbo Tsuruta didn't go. Baba and Inoki didn't go. Dojan didn't go.
We may need 10 more picks next week, guys.
I don't know. We may actually need 10 more picks.
I don't know that 5 will cut it, considering all the people that are left.
I think we may need 10 more picks, to be honest.
That's fine with me. I can find them.
Yeah.
I have 2 names on my board that I didn't take that I'm surprised.
The names that we didn't take are a Hall of Fame promotion.
Yeah.
Like the waiver wire. Like we were doing fantasy football, the waiver wire is loaded.
Yeah. No Hulk Hogan, no Ultimate Warrior, no Sergeant Slaughter, no Vern Gagne.
No Wahoo.
No Stu.
No Harley Race.
Oh my God.
Or any Von Erichs.
No Von Erichs.
Don't forget this one, and I'm going to mention the name here, and everybody's going to be stunned. Haku.
No Haku.
Yeah.
No Edge or Jeff Hardy or the Hardys or Edge and Christian or the Dudleys or any of those, No
Chris Jericho. No Rob Van Dam.
No Chris Benoit.
No Jeff Jarrett,
as it is.
out loud.
No Jushin Liger.
I wanted him.
No Ultimo Dragon.
Kushida or Kenny Omega or any of the other juniors.
Or no, how about this one? Gory Guerrero.
Or yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Good God.
How about El Santo?
No Briscoes.
Or
Mil Mascaras.
How about Nico Casas didn't go?
Oh.
Or Volador.
Or
Ultimo Guerrero.
Or Rush.
Or any of the old guys in New Japan like Tenzan or Kojima. Tenkoji didn't go.
Fujinami didn't go.
Hashimoto didn't go.
Too much. I mean,
the
waiver wire is scary.
Yeah, Ken Shamrock didn't go. If you want a little shoe fighting, or Dan Severin,
or how about Gene LaBelle?
Gene LaBelle, yeah.
Samoa Joe didn't go.
Pat Patterson is still out there.
Yeah, we got. How about the Steiner brothers? Steiner brothers are open.
Oh, I thought about
Fantastics are out there. Like, guys, listen next week. The fun is just getting started.
We're gonna have to be.
You just mentioned about 40, 50 names.
We're gonna have to be careful. If we keep going at this too long, we're gonna want to push us out a 3rd week. So
yeah, I mean,
we might have to.
We might have to go 30 here before it's all said and done. But we can't. Oh, and we're not even touching on like some of the great female performers like or Linus Asuka or
Io Shirai
or Meku Sakamura or whomever. We haven't talked about
Io. Don't forget Io. Don't forget Kairi Hojo.
Yeah, Nakano. Yeah. So
Nakano. Oy vey.
So I mean, what a great episode this was.
Oh, it's one of the most fun episodes that we've done. And it's great too because we hear people that watch this show that may not know some of the people we're talking about, but they hear the excitement that we have for them. We bring it up, and they're like, "Well, let me go explore. Let me see what the Fabulous Freebirds were all about, or let me, look at New Japan and figure out if Okada is worth all the hype we hear, or Brian Pillman, or the original Blackjacks." They just go and they find all of these names. Oh, and Adam, I'm reading your chat, buddy. No Wahoo McDaniel.
I said that. No Wahoo McDaniel.
No
Tatanka. You did.
No Lex Luger. Yep.
No Lex Luger. Yeah.
No JYD.
No JYD. Which you want to talk about putting butts in seats?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No Bill Watts. No JYD.
Ted
Ooh.
He was on my list.
No Jake the Snake.
No Jake the Snake on my list.
Yeah, he's on my list too.
Mine too. Oh, it's scary.
I am shocked Hulk Hogan fell, to be honest.
I understand why he fell, but let's also be honest, despite our personal opinions on his predicament, if we're looking at it purely from his body of work,
he should have been a first rounder.
He probably should have been the first one. He's the most recognizable wrestler in the world.
Yep.
And that's yeah, that doesn't excuse what he did, and I know we all have different opinions on that, but it's just one of those things where you understand it, but at the same time, he probably should have went. And so that'll be interesting to see if he goes next week. We'll just have to wait. We got a lot of work ahead of us, guys.
Yeah, we got 11 through 20 next week.
Yep.
Yeah, we've got a lot of talent out there that needs a home. But I'll get these rosters up as they exist. If you check out our advert thread over at Cage Side Seats, you'll have a link to this week's show and all other shows through our archives on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to that YouTube channel. We're going to be getting out of here momentarily, but of course, we'd like to throw out some plugs. And I want to get the main ones first. Of course, we have Two Guys, One Sport with Crazy Chris Colgan and George Curtain Jerker Ansamis, our good buddy here on the Connoisseurs. That drops every Thursday evening, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central on YouTube. Of course, Shooting the Breeze with Taker's Minion and Mr. Doc Senju. That drops every Saturday morning,
yes,
11 a.m. Eastern.
We need to apologize for last Saturday. We did not do a show. We were dark last week.
Yeah, I saw that on social media. We talked about it, and I saw the note. So I'm guessing y'all will be back this week, though.
We should be, yes.
And you might have to have me on. I might need to, release some of the vapors from tonight's episode on the draft.
I'm sure George is going to talk about this Thursday night, just how much fun it was.
Yeah.
I will talk about this Thursday night, and it will be it was way more fun than watching Hell in a Cell yesterday.
Yes,
so
I agree.
I haven't watched yet, so
the main event is a
cluster.
It's not good. We'll say.
I heard it's a cluster.
It's being very diplomatic there, pal.
Yeah, not good. So, but thank you for the plug, my friend, as always.
No worries. We got Shooting the Breeze, Two Guys, One Sport. We got another one in the family. Just birthed last week with Greg the Hold and myself. This drops Thursday mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. This is Grounds for Development. It's a brand new podcast devoted to covering 205 Live, NXT, and the Performance Center. I will go ahead and give you a heads up. If you liked this episode of the Connoisseurs of Wrestling with our fantasy draft, there's a very similar concept in the works coming in a couple of weeks for Grounds for Development. It's more based in reality, though. It's a kind of a scouting report episode where we kind of chronicle some of the big names in the WWE system that are under the age of 30 to be on the lookout for, giving some shout-outs to some performers who are on their way up. That's really what we're about at the Grounds for Development. We're kind of taking a look, shining a bright light on some of the superstars of tomorrow from 205 Live and the NXT system. So definitely give that show a check. That's Thursday mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern is when it gets uploaded to YouTube. I want to thank everybody for the kind words and the support of the show. Had a great opening week, and I know Greg supports. Greg, thanks you for that support as well. So that's kind of our little associated family of podcasts that we're all kind of tied into here with the Connoisseurs of Wrestling, Shooting the Breeze, Two Guys, One Sport, and Grounds for Development. Of course, we have plenty of other podcasts that we like to give a shout out to. We have the Cage Side Seats affiliated shows, Bros Before Elbows with Anthony Farron and Tommy. We have Keeping Up with Kayfabe, Mark Riley, Jody May Esquire, and Jack King. Not Your Demographic with Stunning Stella and Enigma Era. That's a great show. And the Bitter Boys Club, Brent Brookhouse, who's doing some great work over at Cage Side Seats, writing his articles, by the way. And Ethan Page. Those are the affiliated podcasts of Cage Side Seats. Unaffiliated shows, Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling with William Fitzpatrick. Ambrose Alley, Prince Moxley Lopez dropping the Violent Wrestling podcast. And then Ambrose Alley also drops AA's Ramblings as well. We have Don Sal Kuzmano's Match Fixing on Cedar Bridge Media. We have Ringside Geeks and For the Love of Wrestling with Miss Monroe and friends. We have our good buddy Full Metal Matt with the Ruthless Aggression podcast. That drops Friday evenings around 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. We have Something to Wrestle with Conrad Thompson and Bruce Pritchard. And What Happened When with Conrad Thompson and Tony Schiavone. Some great programs there. Jason Solomon, the Solomon Monster Sounds Off. That drops Sunday afternoons. You can catch all of these podcasts and some great content through your wrestling online community. Cage Side Seats. Of course, our own Taker's Minion dropping a fan post this week. Be sure to go check that out. Look for our advert thread. Got some wrestling trivia there for you. You can vote on this episode who had the best roster. Of course, we ain't done yet. Part 2 coming next week. We are deciding to push this out another week. We had a lot of fun with it. Hope that you did too. This has been the first half of our fantasy draft warfare. We will pick this back up next Monday, everyone permitting. For now, though, George, where can they find you during the week, my friend?
I'm on Twitter at Giatsavis, G-A-T-S-A-V as in Victor E-S. My show's Twitter is at 2guys1sport, the number 2 and the number 1.
LL, where can they get you during the week?
You can find me on Twitter at Windstorm64. And right here every Monday night.
And Taker, where can they get you during the week, my friend?
You can find me at Takers_Minion on Twitter. You can also follow the show Twitter for Shooting the Breeze at Shooting the Breeze, BREEZ1. And always catch my show on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Or at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, except on Big 4 shows where it starts 1 hour earlier. And, we're starting up a mailbag, so tweet us, email us. We'll be promoting that. The first Saturday of October, we're going to be opening the mailbag for the show, and any questions you guys may have, we're going to try to answer them best we can. And Biff, where can they catch you at?
You can catch me on the Twitter at Real Deal Biff. You can also find me at Cage Side Seats. That's daily and nightly threads, generally speaking. You can generally find me putzed around in there. Podcast-wise, I make guest appearances on Shooting the Breeze, Ruthless Aggression Podcast, pretty much any other podcast that has me on. We got the Connoisseurs of Wrestling every Monday night right here, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. We got Grounds for Development, drops 10 a.m. Thursday mornings. All the information for the show here, including our Twitter contact and our email, is down in the info box down below. So if you have any questions, we're going to do a future mailbag episode on here, I'm sure. Be sure to get those in. If you like the show, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, be happy, be merry, be safe. Once again, thoughts and prayers to everyone from the Carolinas that are still dealing with the fallout from Hurricane Florence. Just want to send positive shout outs to Scott Dawson and his family. I hope that they're safe this hour. This has been episode 20 of the Connoisseurs of Wrestling. First night of Fantasy Draft Warfare. My God, it was fun. And Adam Rice, thanks for hanging out in the chat. Sorry that we didn't take Jim Duggan, and also sorry about your Browns losing yesterday. It would have been nice if they could have beaten the Saints. No BS. Really am sorry for that loss. This is episode 20 of the Connoisseurs of Wrestling. We thank you so much for spending part of your Monday evening with us. We'll catch you next week. Guys, you take care. You have a good one. We'll see you later.
Night all.